My name is Connie Snow, and I live at 426 Chase Marion Way, McDonough, Georgia. It's actually in the Eagles Crest subdivision, which is off Holloway. I want to address a couple of things first. I've lived at my home for 20 years. In fact, my son's right here. It's the only home he's ever known. He graduated from Eagles Landing High School. This young lady's his girlfriend. She's from this area as well. They've watched this area develop and change. What's really sad to me is I remember when he was in elementary school, he came home one day so excited because he had learned something at Flippin Elementary about the Native American Indians that lived off of Patrick Henry. And the reason why they did is because of the creeks and the streams and how they could survive off eating off the land there. There's tons of creeks and streams still in that area. And by building this development, we're going to endanger that ecosystem massively. Some other things I want to touch on real quick. So you say we're not a part of the city of Stockbridge and there's no plan to annex us, but that's not true. Per SB 612, which if you look it up and you look at the parcels listed in it, my neighborhood and that parcel ID is on there for the list of potential annexations, something that I'm pretty sure was not on my ballot to vote for, but that's for another day or another time. Additionally, I've spoken on this property about 4 or 5 different times that we've had meetings. We keep going back and forth. We were told they were investors, developers, what have you, but tonight we've been told it's the city. So nobody's really been clear to us on the intents or the plans. They've changed multiple times. Additionally, some other things that are very troubling to me that I want to bring up too is the fact that this development is in walking distance of 3 schools. My home sits directly behind Eagles Landing High School in the football field, and the vast majority of the students in that neighborhood and the surrounding area and middle and high school walk to and from school. I've brought that up several times in every meeting, so much so that last year at one of the meetings, the mayor told me that why he cares about the kids, because the school is on county land. It wasn't essentially his problem. Not his exact words, but that's what he said. Please go back and look at the tapes. You'll see it for yourself. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to keep building. We're going to damage our ecosystem because there's so much water around there, and because of all that development, it's going to end up flooding my neighborhood, the other houses, the schools. Again, there's Eagles Landing Middle School, High School, and Flippin Elementary, as well as Noah's Ark Daycare and a private school church that's over there. So we're going to damage a lot of stuff by doing this. Another thing, in 2018, we were rezoned without our knowledge. We found that out through my battle over this development last year. And we were rezoned for the rehabilitation center listed on Patrick Henry. It should be interesting to know that the person over that is Southern Consulting, also known as Jeff Grant. It should also be interesting to know that Jeff Grant's over the development of the bridges of Jodico. He served 5 years in prison for development fraud in the state of Georgia relating to the timber industry. And then in 2013 was served a civil suit for bank fraud and forgery and development crimes for something off Mill Road that the Henry County citizens had to pay for. So I have to ask this question: why do we keep approving these criminals to build faulty builds and development? The applicant you have listed is Lennar Homes. In 2018, Lennar Homes was served with a civil lawsuit. In that civil lawsuit, it was alleged that they had defective construction, faulty plumbing, and construction defects that led to safety concerns and injuries, among other civil lawsuits due to faulty builds. Let's see, Southern Consulting also works with property owners such as the Chen family, who was a part of the Bridges of Jodico, and I do believe he works with the Patels, who are some of the applicants on these as well. Here's what's going to happen. Clayton County lost their accreditation, their school accreditation, to these same developers years ago. They're still recovering. Those property owners' values went completely down. And it's the same people like Jeff Grant, Tim Jones, and all these others that were involved that caused that. And we as a county are now approving that. I don't know if you've looked at the recent data, but Eagles Landing High and Middle are failing, man. And so are most of our Henry County schools. Once those schools fail, our property value crumbles. Additionally, the goal of the city of Stockbridge is to tad my home out and put me in a blighted district. My neighborhood's not blighted. Yeah, I've got some homeowners that probably should cut their grass and not do the things that they do, but it's not blighted. And he's going to do that, the Stockbridge is going to do that by building this development and everything else you are talking about in order to decrease every property owner's value in there. And currently there's 48% ownership, with the majority of that ownership being senior citizens. So essentially this is another form of eminent domain happening to us. I know you guys can say no and they're still going to approve it, but I want it on the record today that the people that are behind this development is Jeff Grant from Southern Consulting. He is what paved the way for the FLMU to be changed in 2023. We were secretly put on SB 612 without our knowledge. We were not told at previous meetings that the city of Stockbridge was the lead development over this. I want to also be noted that Southern Consulting donates a lot to certain persons' charity on this committee. With that being said, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?